Hey, Liam Ward here, and today I'm answering the question, which notes will bend on harmonica? So I'm going to be using a Hohner Golden Melody harmonica in the key of C, but this is going to apply to any normal blues harmonica, diatonic harmonica. So if you've got anything that's a 10-hole little harmonica like this, this will probably apply for you. Before I go on further, if you'd like a diagram with all 12 keys of harmonica showing all of the notes including the bends, then check out the link in the description to get that. You can get that free and download it to use as a reference. So the 10-hole layout of the harmonica looks like this. So if we see it without bends, we've just got our blow notes and our draw notes. But it's actually possible to add extra textures and inflections to those notes, or even extra melodic notes by bending. Now this is a technique you can learn, and I have lessons about it in my school. Check the links in the description to go and find out about my school and how you can learn to bend. But today we're just looking at which notes will bend. So on holes 1 to 6, you can bend the draw notes. So that's what I was doing right at the start of the video there. So hole 1 is the lowest. And that will bend a semitone or a half step. So you can bend it from a D down to a D flat. So you can use it either to bend in or out of that D, or you can use that D flat as an extra melodic note if you learn the technique. Hole 2 will actually go 2 semitones or a full tone. And it actually comes out as a continuum rather than discrete steps, if you like. So you get, it just bottoms out like that. But you can learn to pluck those notes out, to plug in and get them. And hole 3 goes even further. You can get 3 semitones or half steps. Again, I've practiced finding those pitches because normally or initially you're going to just get a continuum. But these all give you loads of extra melodic and textural capabilities with your playing. You might expect that hole 4 would give you 4 extra bends, but it doesn't, unfortunately. It's the same as hole 1, it just gives you 1 half step. I'm going to skip 5 for now, tell you about it in a second, but hole 6 is the same as 4. Just a half step bend. Let's go back to hole 5. Hole 5 doesn't really give you a bend. It gives you a microtonal bend. So it is moving, but it's not creating a new melodic note. The reason is that the 5 draw is an F and the 5 blow is an E note. There's no missing note between those two. On a piano, they'd be next to each other. There'd be no black key between the 2 white keys. So they're already only a semitone or a half step apart. The way that bending works is that the gap or the distance, musical interval between the blow and the draw note determines the extent of the bend or the potential of the bend. So hole 3 gave us the biggest or the biggest range of bends. That's because the blow note and the draw note have the biggest interval between them. So the blow is a G and the draw is a B. Now that's a big gap. So you can go B, B flat, A flat. So you can get all of those missing notes. The other holes have different distances between them, but hole 5, there is no gap. So you can only get a quarter tone, a microtonal bend on 5. So that's holes 1 to 6, but what about 7 to 10? Well, on 7 to 10 we have a switch because the notes we can bend are actually the blow notes in holes 7 to 10. So 7, 8, 9, 10 blow will bend. Okay, so they bend to different extents, just as we had with the draw notes. So 7 blow is like our 5 draw. Because there isn't any real gap between the blow note and the draw note, it's only going to give you a micro bend. 8 and 9 blow will give you a half step or semitone bend, just like 1, 4 and 6 draw. And then 10 blow is like our 2 draw, because it's going to give you 2 extra notes. Squeaky. Bit of a high harmonica to do this on, a C harmonica. So maybe try a lower one. So we've got different extents of bends up there as well. The reason we've got this switch to the blow bends is because from 7 to 10 blow, the blow note is higher than the draw note. And your bends are always produced by bending downwards. You can't bend upwards from the natural note of the instrument. So you can only get pitches that are below it. And that's because you're filling in that space, that musical gap between the higher reed and the lower reed, the higher pitched reed and the lower pitched reed. So you can bend that blow note downwards because it's higher than the draw note, whereas holes 1 to 6, it's the other way around. So if you try bending 1 to 6 blow, you're not going to get much movement, and 7 to 10 draw, you're not going to get much movement. There is a thing called overbending, which we're not going to look at today, but that's a different technique that actually plucks out higher notes in a slightly different way, a different mechanism, different physics behind it. I do have a course on that technique, so check out the link to find out more about my school. You can also find out a lot about bending in my school. I have a course as well as it being included in other courses, so check out the school to find out more about that. If you'd like a diagram with the full note layout including bends for all 12 keys of harmonica, check the link in the description to find out more. I hope this has helped you to understand what bends are available on the instrument. Check out the links in the description for a free download, and also check out my school where you can learn all sorts of techniques including bending to really supercharge your harmonica playing. I'll see you again soon for another free harmonica lesson. Cheers.